Everybody, what's going on? It's Mitch from We in Tennessee.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
I wanted to stop because I almost forgot. I wanted to just say Happy Father's Day to you guys. I know there's a lot of fathers out there that watch, my channel, so I just wanted to say we appreciate you and all the things that you do for your family. Have a wonderful day. Let's get to the video. And if you've noticed, I've done lots less videos from my car because the sun and the heat has been getting too hot. It shuts my phone off, and so I'm like, okay, I need to come in where it's cooler. And also, I just break out this huge sweat because if I don't roll the windows up, I hear all the birds and I hear the planes that go by my house. So that's why you're wondering why I'm doing more videos in the house. That's why. Okay, today's video, let's get to the title. I went with my wife today and my daughter to Townsend. We love the Sunshine Bridge. There's something about it that's just, I don't know, it's just magical to me. I love just going over this covered bridge. I just like to hear the water flowing underneath it. And it's just near the Smokies, so it's just special to me. But on the way back, my wife is like, hey, let's stop by this. I believe it was the Rivermill Antique Shop. And we love antique shops. You guys know that. Um, and I have nothing against antique shops. In fact, we would be the least people to have something against antique shops. My wife loves them. I love them. What's strange about it though is 90% of the time we go to an antique shop, we come out with nothing. I think it's just we like to look, and I guess what we're looking for, maybe we just never find. But I had like this epiphany while walking through this antique shop. And again, no judgment on anybody, because I would be the first one to be guilty of this. But I have had this mindset and mentality, and then it kind of got reminded as I was walking through this antique shop. I was wondering, do the things that end up on the antique shop, tables and shelves, are those just being recycled? You know what I mean? For instance, if you go to an antique shop and get a plate, that was somebody else's plate, that bought that displayed it in their house. Maybe they passed away, and then the kids gave it away to an antique shop, or the antique shop bought it off of eBay. And then you go and you buy that plate, and then it just gets recycled. You know what I mean? The same thing happens to it over and over again. Or it sits in somebody's garage, and then they go to clean it out, and they, give it to this antique shop, or the antique shop goes to another place, a flea market, and they buy it, and it just ends up on these tables or shelves. And I'm just wondering, when you go to an antique shop, do the things that you see, you know, how long was it sitting in somebody's house or garage before somebody buys it? And then what happens to it? What does that person do once they buy it? Do they put it up on a shelf and then the whole thing gets recycled another 20, 30 years later? I don't know. And that was the thing that was just making me wonder, what happens? What is the story behind this? And so that was just kind of my mentality, thinking, as I have gotten older, my family always says, hey, it's going to be your birthday. Oh, in fact, thank you so much for, those of you that wished me a happy birthday last week and happy anniversary of being here in Tennessee. But back on the subject, they always ask me, what do you want? What do you want? And, as I've gotten older, I ask for less and less things, like, I don't know, and I don't know, and, save your money. Because here's my mentality. I'd rather do something that is an experience or a memory rather than a thing. Unless that thing is something I need. Like, we actually went out last week and I bought a couple of shirts because I just needed shirts. But I've noticed less and less, you follow it as your kid, you always want that video game, or you want a bike, or you want a toy. And as you get older, I want this. And then I just noticed, as I get older, I want less and less things. I'm more inclined to say I'd rather go out to lunch with you guys as an experience. I'd rather us go here um, as an experience. I'd rather go to the antique shop with you guys. I'd rather go to the Sunshine Bridge um, because as I'm getting older, those things mean more than just something that I might get and look at and go, oh, that might end up on an antique shelf one day. Because, a lot of things, and again, I am not against collectibles because I like to collect Back to the Future things. I like to collect sports memorabilia because it's just fun. And that's what I've been noticing lately is more and more. I'm like, before I buy something, I'm like, is this going to end up on an antique shelf one day? And I just have to just stop myself and go, hey, let's get back to the experiences that you want so much. Let's go out to lunch with the family. Those kind of things just resonate in my mind. And I'd love to get your opinion on this down in the comments section because um, it's just a fascinating topic to me. And I'd love for those of you that have gotten older too, do you feel like you're doing the same thing where you're just asking for less things and asking for more experiences? Because as we're getting older, I'm realizing those experiences mean more. They're treasured, they're valuable, rather than the treasures that sitting in my garage or on my shelf. And again, not that those things are wrong or bad. It's just um, I'm not going to be getting as many of those because I'd rather, spend the time or money on different experiences. So that was kind of just my epiphany today as I was, my wife and I were going through that antique shop, is just wondering what's the story about all of these things? And am I buying things that are just going to end up in an antique shop one day with very little value? I don't know. It's just something I thought about. But anyway, guys, I have not given you guys a driving video in such a long time, so I'm excited to do that. The weather out here has been hot and humid, and thus we've had lots of rain. We haven't had as much thunderstorms as my phone says. Like it says thunderstorms today, and I never hear anything, and it's just day to day where, and that's the thing that I've learned here in East Tennessee is the weatherman or weatherwoman has the toughest job in the world because it's so hard to pinpoint where you're going to see rain, where you're going to get thunder, where are we going to get the flooding. It's just a really tough job because it's so spotty. You look at the city of Knoxville or Maryville and you just go, how am I supposed to do the weather for this large area where sometimes rain will be here and sometimes rain won't be here? So it's kind of a fascinating thing as far as the weather goes. But definitely want to do some driving videos for you guys. And just to thank you guys for always being so generous with your comments, time, watching these, my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with some driving videos of just the area, this beautiful area we call East Tennessee. And I will see you guys next week.
Woo! Look how dark those clouds look. Man, I better get home before that thing unleashes a lot of rain.